Calling the Ways and Means Committee meeting to order. Philip Stockin, Committee Chair. And the first item on our agenda is a roll call, please.
Mr. Stockin?
Present.
Mr. Fanton? Mr. Curran?
Here.
Mr. Decker?
Here.
Mr. Havey? Mr. Healy?
Here.
Mrs. Hopkins? Mrs. Root? Here. Mr. Crandall? 9 members present.
Thank you. The next item is the approval of minutes from March 17th. I have a motion, please. Mr. Kern, seconded Mrs. Root. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried. Same for the minutes for March 22nd. Motion to approve. Mrs. Hopkins, second. Mr. Decker. Any questions? Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. The audits were sent out by email, and you have copies on your desk. Are there any questions? Hearing none, a motion to approve.
Move it.
I'll second it.
Mr. Fanton, seconded Mrs. Root. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried. Clerk of the Board has submitted 3 requests for insurance recoveries. Do you wish to speak anything additional on these, ma'am?
I believe everything is included in the MOE. I can certainly answer any questions or concerns you may have, though.
Okay, the first one is for the $10,885 and a few cents from Geico. Could we have a motion for that, please? Mr. Healy, seconded Mr. Havey. Now, is there any discussion? Questions? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that one's carried. The next one is for $1,553 from Wesco. Can we have a motion?
I'll move that.
Mrs. Root, second, Mr. Curran. Is there discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried. And the third one is a check for $1,770 from Geico again. Can we have a motion?
So move.
Mr. Fanton, Mr. Havey. Any questions? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried. Thank you. Now we have referrals from committees. If the committee chair would be ready to introduce each of those. We'll start with Human Services. Mrs. Hopkins?
Thank you, Mr. Stockin. Public Health Director Tyler Shaw.
Are you on, ma'am?
Red, oh. This is red.
Push your mic down a little bit. No,
In the socket, down at the base.
There we
There we
go.
go.
Modern machinery
She's
here.
live.
Okay. Public Health Director Tyler Shaw is requesting permission to fill 1 full-time public health sanitarian position. That's AFSCME, grade 20. The position is responsible for complex testing, inspections, and investigation and is critical to the environmental health programming, such as lead programming, prevention program, drinking water program, rabies control, tobacco control, and other state sanitary code programs. The salary is between 47.2 and 51.1, and the position is 100% funded with state funds, and the benefits are funded 100% county funds, and I move that for acceptance.
Is there a
Root will second.
Mr. Kern, we have a motion and its support. Is there discussion? Seeing or hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried. Number 2.
Office of the Aging Director Anita Madison is requesting a resolution to reappropriate and reallocate unspent funds in the Unmet Needs Grant. The original resolution of this grant was resolution number 151-19. It runs on the state fiscal year, and she is requesting reappropriation to spend down the grant by March 31st, 2021. It is in the amount of $33,000, and I will move to accept that.
Is there support?
Second.
Mr. Healy. Other questions or discussion here? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried.
Okay, Ms. Madison is requesting permission to fill 4 part-time luncheon center managers. That's a non-union position at $12.75 per hour. They're necessary for the call-in availability to cover vacations and/or time off, and without them, the luncheon centers would not be able to operate and would need to close. The position is estimated at $7,219 and with benefits accordingly. These are 10% with county funds and 90% with state funds, and I move this for acceptance.
Support? Mr. Havey. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 4.
Yes, Ms. Madison is requesting permission to fill 1 part-time typist, that's non-union, grade 4. There is currently only 1 typist in the Office of the Aging, and this position is responsible for phone and office reception, as well as clerically supporting the whole agency. Especially with the increased number of calls and working with the COVID situation, this position is very necessary. The salary is estimated at $13,544, and it's 10% county funds, 57% state, and 20% with federal, and 13% with other funds, and I move that.
Is there support? Mrs. Root? Is there discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried.
Okay. Number 5, Social Services Commissioner Edna Kays is requesting permission to apply for a Blue Fund grant in the amount of $300,000 to renovate properties at 10 to 12 Willis Avenue as office space for the Child Advocacy Center. And I move that.
Support?
Second.
Mr. Curran? Is there discussion, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried.
Ms. Kays is requesting a resolution to accept and appropriate a donation in the amount of $1,500 for wraparound funding from the Cattaraugus County / Western New York COVID-19 Community Response Fund for the Child Advocacy Center to meet basic needs for Allegheny County families. The donation is $1,500, and I move that.
Is there support? Mr. Fanton? Are there questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried.
Ms. Kays is requesting permission to fill 1 full-time provisional social welfare examiner, that's AFSCME, grade 11, and any resulting internal backfills. This position is responsible for interviewing clients and determining eligibility for benefits. The annual salary is between $35,226 and $42,814. And it is funded with 38% county funds, 10% state, and 52% with federal funds, and I move that.
Is there support? Mrs. Root? Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Number 8, Ms. Kays is requesting permission to fill 1 full-time provisional employment specialist, that's AFSCME, grade 12, and any resulting internal backfills. This position is responsible for verifying employability of job track clients and assigning duties based on abilities and any medical restrictions. The salary is estimated between $36,444 and $43,962, and this is 30% funded with county funds, 10% with state funds, and 60% with federal funds, and I'll move that.
Seconded, Mr. Healy. Is there discussion, questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried.
And finally, Ms. Kays is requesting permission to fill 1 full-time senior typist, that's AFSCME grade 7, due to a promotion. This position is responsible for answering all calls coming into the agency, as well as performing clerical work to support all programs. The salary is estimated between $31,829 and $37,263. It is funded with 38% county funds, 10% state funds, and 52% with federal funds, and I move that for acceptance.
Is there support? Mr. Kern. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's passed. Thank you.
Thank you,
Mrs.
Mr. Chair.
Hopkins, for that long report. Public Safety Committee. Mr.
Thank you,
Healy.
Mr. Chairman. The first item on the Public Safety Committee agenda for the Ways and Means is a request from the sheriff for a resolution approving the quote from Isotech, as well as permission to transfer funds in the amount of $129,000 from contingency fund to the remaining balance of the upgrade to public safety facility security system. Currently, there's $68,000 in the capital project jail tech system upgrade, and the transfer is laid out as further follows in the MOE memorandum of explanation, which is attached, and I'm glad to move that.
Motion, is there a second? Mr. Decker. Excuse me. Is there any question, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried.
Next, the Sheriff Whitney is requesting permission to fill one full-time corrections sergeant position. The annual salary of that position is estimated at $59,742.58, with benefits estimated at $23,341.43. This position is funded 100% by the county with county funds, and it's laid out further in his request for a position, which is also attached. And these are also to, I think, maintain all standards from the State Department of Corrections that they put upon us. So I'll move that. Thank you.
Is there support? Mr. Havey. Any discussion? All in favor? Excuse me.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried. Number 3.
Number 3 is a request from the sheriff requesting permission to fill one full-time deputy sheriff and subsequent vacancies created by promoting a correction officer to deputy sheriff. The annual salary of that position is estimated at $48,068.59, with benefits at $18,780.56. This position is also 100% funded with county funds, and I'll also add these are also to keep up with the New York State Department of Corrections minimum staffing requirements, and I'll be glad to move that. And the RFP is also attached for that position.
Support, Mr. Fanton. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried. And finally,
Finally, we'll go on to the probation department. We got probation director Robert Starks, who is with us here today, is requesting permission to apply for grant monies to offset the purchase of 5 body armor vests for probation officers in 2021. Grants for bulletproof vests are provided through the U.S. Department of Justice Patrick Leahy Bulletproof Vest Partnership Program. I believe that program goes back to the beginning of that the vest for law enforcement initiatives on a state level. And the quote for the cost of that vest is $915.60 each. Total amount for the 5 vests is estimated at $4,578. The grant, if approved, will allow the probation department to apply for 50% of the total amount, which equals $2,289, and that is also laid out in the MOE, which is you will find attached. I'll move that.
is there a second? Mr. Kern, are there any questions? Mr. Decker?
percentage of your staff will have bulletproof vests? Mr. Decker, my intention is that all of the staff that do field work will have their, half of them got their vests last year, and then this will get the rest of them this year. Okay. And one other question. Is there a life expectancy on these vests? How often do they have to be replaced?
Mr. Decker, is your mic on?
Oh. Sorry
you.
about that. I turned it off inadvertently. My question was, is there a life expectancy on the vests? And if so, how long and before you have to replace these?
I believe the life expectancy, if you were to wear it every single day, is like 5 years. Of course, our staff officers don't wear theirs every single day. They're not out in the field every day. So we've been able to get longer period of time use of those.
Okay,
So, but, yes,
all right, thank you.
you're welcome.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question, just. If you don't-
Excuse me, Mr. Graves.
Bob, what happens to these are gonna replace ones that are already in service?
Yes.
What happens to the old one? Do they,
I don't know yet for sure, to be honest with you. I haven't been able to get an answer.
we got an auction coming up, that's what.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
asking you.
I don't have an answer yet what we do with the old ones, so
I don't think we'd want to sell them.
probably not.
Mr. Healy?
Yes, I'm going to ask you a question that sometimes it's dangerous not to ask a question you're not absolutely sure of the answer. But historically, this program does go back to the 70s, I believe. Does it not?
I honestly don't know how old it.
I believe so, and I think it came about part of the civil unrest in the late 60s, and one of the things that they determined that the law enforcement needed at that time was bulletproof vests, and I think that was when these grants first started. Thank you.
Are there other comments? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried. To the best of my records here, that's the last referral. Are there others that we need to deal with today? Okay. We're going to skip the next item for a moment, which is executive session, and take up any old business. Is there any new business? Good of the order. Mr. Healy. It may take longer than that. Let's say at the end of the executive session. Okay. Okay, at this time, we have to go into an executive session to discuss the employment history of a certain corporation. And when we come out of that, there will be no more action for the committee other than adjournment. So we will say goodbye to the public at this point, and that'll be it for Ways and Means today, as far as the recording is concerned. So we take a motion to go into executive session. Mr.
So
Decker,
moved.
second. Mr. Havey, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are in executive session.